Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it in the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, we got one car on the bottom of the 10 cars.
Hello and welcome to the Dover International Speedway for round 13 of 36 in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. I am Dakota Ehrman, joined by Evan Pasocco up in the broadcast booth, JD Webb and John Wessling hanging down in the production studios here, getting set for another round of racing at a very interesting racetrack here. Evan Pasocco, I'm excited. I can't wait to get going once again.
And definitely 160 laps at this 1 mile racetrack. Very wide and very challenging, and we're going to see if Miles the Monster can claim another victim, but every one of those drivers is going to make sure that they're not the first one. Should be a great night of racing.
Yeah, definitely the Monster Mile here, definitely like a roller coaster ride you know, when you think about it, especially from a driver's point of view. But how about we go back to last week? Last week was Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was around 12 of 36 with the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing, the VRC Mark II virtual racing seat. Chad Cole actually coming home with the win after starting in the 8th position, or actually the 10th position. Actually led a total of 133 laps. Fantastic performance. CJ Levere came home second. I believe he was kind of close in on Cole. Snyder was third, with Mark Bratcher coming home fourth in his number 38 machine. Ben Burnett came home in the 5th position after starting from the pole.
And Nick Silver managed to get a 6th place finish after starting back in 22nd position. Also, Matt LaCrosse started way back in 30th. He took home 7th. John Abbott started way in the back, 37th. He brought it up to an 8th place finish. We also had Adam Roberts started 24th. He moved up to 9th, and then Brian Harvey, who started 9th, managed to round off our top 10.
And one notable here, how about Stephen Marinette came home 12th after starting 2nd, so he fell back quite a few spots from where he started. John Hannon Jr. had a pretty stellar performance, actually, but ended up coming home in the 14th position. Want to go back all the way down the list, though. 38th position was Dwayne Vincent. He came in as the points leader, had a very, very large point lead, only walked away with a handful of points, just about 6 points, so definitely did not have the points day he wanted. Speaking of points, Chad Cole has taken over the points lead. He has that points lead by now 1 point over Dwayne Vincent, who actually had a very, very large point lead last week. CJ Levere currently sitting in the 3rd position, 35 points out of the point lead, and 34 behind Vincent. Guy Snyder currently sitting 4th in the points. He's 47 out, with John Abbott sitting 5th, 76 points out of the point lead.
And then we have a little bit of a gap. We have Ronnie Potts 6th in the points. He's 101 points off of the leader, Chad Cole. Then Doug Roth, he is 7th position, 113 out. Then right behind him, Rich Jett. He's 8th place in the points, nearly 116 points out. And another 3 behind him, we have Steve Ritter being 9th place, 119 out. And then running off the top 10 is going to be Mike King, who is 128 points behind Chad Cole with 291 points total.
And over a very interesting racetrack, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it changes things tonight. We saw that Dwayne Vincent had a very bad night last week, and that could really hurt him this week, or it could help him. I don't know. It's going to depend on how what kind of a night Chad Cole has, or between those two. So we watched those two battle for the point lead. Only 1 point between them, as to where it was a very large point gap, and that's how you can see where anything can happen. Anybody can jump up and down the points ladder there, so definitely can't wait to get this thing started. How about the Dover International Speedway? Capacity is 113,000, broke ground in 1966, opened in 1969. is 1 mile. Just about 1 mile. Turns are 4 with 24 degrees of banking in the turns, 9 degrees of banking in the straightaways here, Evan.
And that's right, this track, 1 mile long, as you mentioned. We can sit 113,000 people in here. I bet it's packed to capacity. 24 degrees in the turns you mentioned, 9 in the straight. Should be a great race tonight. And we're going to see who can tame this track. The Monster Mile, as it's called. Definitely one of the tougher tracks on the circuit. And it's going to really show us who has dialed in their race cars and who's practiced enough to get this track tamed.
When speaking of getting this track tamed or taming this track, how about the comers here tonight? Ben Burnett moved up 5 spots in the point standings to 11th with a 15th and a 5th place finish so far in just the last few weeks. With a good finish at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Mark Bratcher moves up to 13th in the point standings. He's another comer here tonight. And Adam Roberts has 3 straight top 10s in his 88 machine. Watch for him to maybe come home with another top 10, top 5, or even keep moving up that ladder, maybe get that first W of the season. Goers here tonight, though. Justin Wilson, Eric Brundys, and White Wolf Jr. have slid down the points drastically the last 2 weeks. Wilson is 14th, Brundys is 20th, and Wolf sitting 23rd. Joseph Hayes and Kel Dresbeck have already have had steady below-average finishes lately. Dwayne Vincent has a 23rd and 38th place finish at Darlington and Charlotte. He's got to get his stuff back together and get moving back in the right direction here.
And definitely, you mentioned he has now lost the lead to Chad Cole, something that we weren't really expecting, but he had a really tough night at Charlotte. And being only 1 point back, if you look at their win total, Dwayne Vincent has 5 wins this season, Chad Cole with 2, and then CJ Lavere sitting in 3rd in the points has 1 W. So you really need to get wins. It's really going to help you in the points, and definitely we're just over a third of the way through the season, halfway through the regular season, and then we get on to the chase. So definitely they should be good to go for the chase, but you want to get as many bonus points as you can with W's.
Well, that you do, and as we are working most of the way through qualifying, just a little bit of time left here, look at the practice charts here. Chad Cole fastest in practice. He beat out John Higbee Jr., Dwayne Vincent, Jose Gonzalez, and CJ Lavere, who were your top 5. So some really familiar faces to be up front. Currently scored in the top 5 in practice. John Hickman Jr., one of the notables, so he kind of came out of nowhere, I would say, this week. How about qualifying, though, so far? Dwayne Vincent currently on the pole, Cole sitting 2nd. So those two definitely not going to give each other a whole lot of room when it comes to running order-wise on the racetrack and in the point standings.
And definitely, and CJ Lavere was 5th in practice. He has not qualified yet. Does not look like he's going to make it out onto the track. So he'll be starting near the rear end of the field. And watch for the number 84 of Jimmy North. Not quite the fastest car here, down at the bottom right now of qualifying. He's had a rough couple of weeks and a rough season in general, so that team's going to be looking to get a strong finish, try to gain some momentum as this season works through.
As the season works through, we're almost getting set here for another race here, round 13 of 36 with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. We're going to go ahead and go down now trackside for the national anthem sung by the Cactus Cuties.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
as the field gets set on the grid and we get set for the command here, we'll go ahead and go down once again trackside.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And now, with the starting lineup, it's going to be Dwayne Vincent starting on the pole. He's starting in row 1 with the 8 of Chad Cole on his outside.
Row number 2, starting in the 3rd position, is going to be the number 37 of Ben Burnett, and right next to him, the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez.
John Higman Jr., second in practice, 5th on the grid here after qualifying. He'll roll off in row number 3 with the 40 car of Matt Hoffman on his outside.
The number 67 of Brian Harvey qualified 7th, and Justin Wilson and his 58 qualified 8th. They'll make up row 4.
Matt Lacrosse rolls off 9th in his 21 machine with the 28 of Bobby Wetzel rolling off in 10th on his outside. They make up row number 5.
Row number 6 will be the number 45 of Cale Dresbach qualifying in the 11th position, and the number 44 of Glenn Campbell is going to qualify 12th.
Mark Bratcher will roll off 13th in his 38 machine with the 27 machine of Guy Snyder rolling up 14th. They make up row number 7.
Row number 8 will be on the inside. The number 33 of David Lanza starting in 15th position, and right next to him, the number 88 of Adam Roberts qualifies 16th.
John Abbott going to roll off 17th with Mike Montesi rolling off 18th in the 20 machine.
Nick Silva will roll off the grid 19th position, and to his right, the number 82 of Doug Fleming will be 20th.
Row number 11 is going to be Ed Williams Jr. 65 machine and Jimmy North in the 84.
DJ LeVere in a backup car we're hearing starting in the 23rd position in his number 4. He was actually 5th in practice, and then Ronnie Potts in the 02 is going to start 24th.
Steve Ritter rolls off 25th with Steve Goschuk rolling off 26th.
The number 24 of Stefan Marinak will start this race 27th, and Mike King in the 04 will be 28th.
Sean Castor rolling off 29th, Chris Cable 30th.
Steven Almendo starting 31st, and Rich Jett 32nd.
Brendan Mercer 33rd with Joseph Hayes rolling off 34th.
Doug Roth will start 35th, and 36th will be Keith Brooks Jr.
And Douglas Wyatt, Eric Arnold, Nathan Little, and J. Randall Watkins will round out your field as we get set to take the green flag. I do believe it's waiting on the leaders here, and leader is away. Green flag flies, and we're green flag racing here at Dover International Speedway. We take lap 1 of 160 here.
And Dwayne Vincent, a great start there. He controls the start, and his number 13 machine has gained a little bit of advantage. They're side by side right now for second position. The number 8 of Chad Cole is on the outside of the 37 of Ben Burnett as they work into turn number 3. The 8's looking to let the 37 go and drop to the bottom.
Yeah, Cole could not get to the throttle on that outside lane, and Burnett had caught the apron, had cost himself a little bit of time. Now you see Cole shoot back to the inside again for second position. Pushes up the track just a little bit, but he's all right there.
And we have an early caution flag. Caution's going to fly here on lap number 2.
Yeah, I see a big incident in 3 and 4. It's going to be the 67 car. He's involved big time. Lap 2, working into turns 3, is actually going into turn number 3. He checks up, gets punted by the 45 of Cale Dresbach, spins in the outside wall, and in the end gets collected by 1 car, nearly 2. And he might almost get a few other cars there, unfortunately. So Brian Harvey, bad luck early here.
And definitely the 67 lost a lot of speed. He was side by side with the 40 machine of Matt Hoffman as they entered into the corner, and he just lost a bunch of speed, and that 45 of Cale Dresbach came flying up and got him in the left rear, which sent the 67 up into the wall, and he bounced off the wall a couple of times, and he came down, and as cars were trying to go up and down, that 84 Jimmy North, his bad luck is going to continue. He's in that early wreck as well.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Jimmy North in the 84 machine. Looks like most of the field passes up pitting here, so no pit stops early.
And definitely not, and we have Ben Burnett, the 37, will hang on the second position. Chad Cole was challenging him when the caution came out, and an early caution may set the tone for this race. They have just announced the cause of caution is indeed that 45 car, so Cale Dresbach will receive an EOL penalty for being the cause of the accident, and it's nothing on a driver error, just sometimes you have nowhere to go, and it's a tough call by race officials, but that's the call right now. He's going to have a lot of time to make that back up. And your top 5 right now as we're pacing is going to be Dwayne Vincent, Ben Burnett, Chad Cole, Jose Gonzalez, and John Higman Jr.
I'll go ahead and talk to you about what these guys are racing for. The VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable in the cockpit of the car. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand and shifter mount sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, a high quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it today at BobEarlRacing.com. Order one today.
And that's what all of these drivers are going to be racing for tonight. And it's going to be a great prize, as you mentioned. We do have a chase, and this is still relatively early. We just passed the halfway point of the regular season, and then we'll have the chase later on. And Dwayne Vincent running up front. He's doing what he needs to do right now to get those points back. Chad Cole, who is above him by 1 point in the point standings, currently sitting third, so Chad Cole's not going to let this one go easy, as we're still way early here with lots of laps to go still.
Yeah, but if we were to, in the race now, which is not, really possible, currently working lap 5, the way they run, Vincent would currently be the points leader. So that's what they're all looking at. 1 point difference between the two. Vincent currently up 2 spots above Chad Cole and has led a lap, so he would actually be the current points leader if we were to talk about that. So we've got to keep our eye on this battle throughout the race. The 13 and the 8 car, big time, being as they are racing for the championship here. And I know we're only 13 races into a 36 race season. We do have a chase race, or a chase, which actually restarts the point standings for the top 10, I do believe.
And we already have a couple cars that have gone a lap down. 35th on me of the number 02 of Ronnie Potts, Steve Ritter, Steve Goschak, and Chris Cable are all 1 lap down, and the 84 of Jimmy North on pit road for repairs. He is 2 laps down, so not the way you want to start off your race. Dwayne Vincent started outside pole last year in this race, finished 4th, and only led a total of 7 laps in 2012. Not quite the amount of laps he would like to have led, I'm sure, but and I do believe that was just at this race, but definitely he's kind of already beaten that. He's already 6 laps in to the race, led all 6 laps so far, and I don't think he's done yet. And definitely not. He still has a long way to go, and his car does look fairly strong. He qualified on the pole, and he was 3rd in practice, so definitely he has a fast race car underneath him for tonight's race, and we are currently pacing down the back straightaway. The lights on the pace car are off. Drivers are doubled up, and we're going to get ready to take another shot at this thing. We're going to go green when we take lap number 7 of 160.
Here we go, just about to be into turn number 3. Pace car driver, that's going to be the honorary pace car driver, J.D. Webb. He will pull off into pit road just the moment we get off turn 4th, and the field is in the hands of Dwayne Vincent. Watch, last time the outside lane did not get going. Now it's going to be the guy that was on that inside behind him is now on the outside. And here we go, green flag is out. Vincent is away. Inside lane rolls behind him. Outside lane kind of stacks up.
And it seems to be that starting on that inside lane is just so quick for the leader, as again the 8 and 37 of Chad Cole and Ben Burnett are side by side. Now they're going to single file out off of turn number 2. The 14 of John Higman Jr. is going to work his way around the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. And challenging him is now the 58 car of Justin Wilson. That is a battle for 4th position, I do believe. The 26 sliding back a bit on the high side, and here comes the 21 now, Matt Lacrosse looking at it.
And you got to think that Vincent not really going to be happy they had a caution, because now he's a lot closer. Those guys behind him really did not battle for long, and they're kind of creeping in on him. That's Chad Cole pretty much closing the gap maybe here on the race leader.
Yeah, and definitely we saw them. They were too wide up until turn number 3 when 37 Ben Burnett, I do believe, was let go by the 8 of Chad Cole. This time they single filed out by turn 2 rather. So then they had a lot less time battling. They can catch Dwayne Vincent. Dwayne Vincent has about a .27 lead right now of Chad Cole. Then it's Ben Burnett hanging out around there. John Higman Jr.'s got that 4th place position back. 58 of Justin Wilson hanging out in 5th position, and I think we're single file out through at least the top 10.
Yeah, it looks like Dwayne Vincent actually running away from Chad Cole. Justin Wilson currently running in the 5th position. Just got around Jose Gonzalez for that spot. The 58 car worked the inside lane, was able to make it work, was able to make it stick as he went by that 26 car.
And definitely the 26 of Jose Gonzalez ended up dropping 2 positions on that, because when John Hammond Jr., he also went by at the same time as Justin Wilson, so Jose was 4th. He's now currently sitting in 6th position. The 21 Matt Lacrosse hanging out, and the 38 of Mark Ratcher was hanging out about 7th position 2 laps ago. He had a little bit of a wiggle trying to get back in motion here as he currently sits 9th.
Back about 23rd position is where he was scored last time he came across the start-finish line. He's going backwards in a hurry. I don't know if something might be wrong with the 65 machine. Ed Williams Jr. going to be scored coming across the line this time in 24th. But I mean, it looked like he had lost a few more spots in that 65 car in trouble as he's just stuck on the outside lane. Car definitely not handling. You see him get sideways there and going backwards in a hurry.
And definitely, and it doesn't appear that he's just stuck on the high side. The car doesn't have much speed. Now he picked up the pace a little bit, but now the 7 car of J. Randall Watkins also going to make his way by. Not sure if that car made some contact with the wall or not, but his 65 machine has now dropped all the way back to 27th position, and the 45 of Cale Dresbach is looking to take that spot as well as they work off turn 2.
And it looks like he'll hold off Cale just off of that corner, but have to keep right in that battle as the 45 actually the cause of the last caution was deemed actually sent to the back, so 45 car could be a little bit quicker than where he's running as he currently is scored in that 28th position after starting 11th.
And definitely up front, Dwayne Vincent, his number 13 car, Chad Cole, he is pulling away from Chad Cole, and the caution comes out for the 10 car of John Abbott, who was sitting in 19th position. He has spun around. He made contact with the 29 of Brennan Mercer down the back straightaway, and 10 went right up into the wall and came back down onto the racetrack. Made slight contact with a couple other cars, but not a major incident.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like the 10 car big-time checkup or something, or maybe just got on the brakes trying to make the corner, and 29 car just ran right into the back of him, puts the 10 car around and into the outside wall hard. I mean, that was a lot of contact for that 10 machine.
And definitely, I'm just watching the replay. The car right in front of him also checked up, so that may have been a product of a big checkup going into the corner, and I was checking that on his onboard. I believe it was the number 4, CJ LeVere, made contact with another car as well. That may have been the 24, Stefan Marinak, a big checkup, and John Abbott tried to avoid that, and the 29 of Brennan Mercer did not see a thing and just drove right into the back of that 10, obviously not anticipating that as they head down pit road.
We are on caution number 2 with just the first 15 laps, and here comes the leaders and just about everybody here. Dwayne Vincent leading them down low. 13 car into his stall, 8 car as well. Right side's going up on the 13 and the 8. Just about everybody. I think we're going to see a 4-tire stopped over. Very infamous, famous for eating up tires here. I think we're seeing 4 tires for just about everybody. Dwayne Vincent going to lead the battle out. Chad Cole follows in pursuit in 2nd position. We're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll see who stayed out and who came out, and if we have any changes in the running order.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in 2nd. We got 1 car on the bottom of the 10 car.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
We're back live at Dover International Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series championship on the line here. 1 point between the point leaders, and they're currently leading the race first and second position, second and first in the points respectively. They're all chasing the Balboa Racing cockpit, the VRC Mark II virtual racing seat. There are, I believe, the third place car in points, about 45 points out, 35 points out with the two, but here we are, double foul getting set for the green flag, currently running order, scoring the 13 and 8 in front, the 14 and 58, third and fourth. That is Chad Cole, or Dwayne Vincent, Chad Cole, John Higman Jr., and Justin Wilson.
And yeah, the top three cars up there are Fords and then Justin Wilson, the first Chevy in the lineup, starting up high. And it'll be interesting as we come in here. There was no wave around Lucky Dog, as that was the number 29 of Brendan Mercer, who was involved in that incident, so no Lucky Dog this time. He receives his EOL penalty as we get ready to go back green flag racing.
The field works through 3 and 4. Honorary pace car driver JD Webb pulls down pit road, and green flag flies. Vincent is away. He got a pretty good jump there on the field, puts a pretty good gap. Outside lane once again on the restart, struggling. That's Chad Cole, as he's now going to fall back in line behind the 14 car if he can. He does. He dives the car down there and really makes up a little bit of time off the corner. Gets really sideways off the corner, but there's Justin Wilson all over the bumper of that 8 machine, currently for the third position.
And definitely Dwayne Vincent wasting no time when he goes back green. And we're sitting up there on the high side, 8 of Chad Cole. There's not much you can do. You can anticipate that he's going to go there, but if he waits a little longer, you're going to end up jumping the restart. So he has to stay back and look to his left to see when he goes, and then they were side by side with the 14 of John Higman Jr. 8 pulled in line now in front of Justin Wilson, so he drops from second to third on that restart, but manages not to get stuck on the high side, lose too many positions.
Not to mention, when you're on the outside lane in a restart, you got to think about where you are in track compared to that car on the inside, how much the banking differential is compared to that car on the inside. It's quite a bit more, and there's probably quite a bit more of a chance that your tires will spin and that you could wreck, and you're going to use a lot less throttle getting getting going. So I would think that could be playing into what's happening on the restarts here.
And definitely up front still Dwayne Vincent. I'm checking his previous lap times. He just ran a 23.34 second lap. John Higman Jr. right behind him at 23.36. So definitely Dwayne Vincent not pulling away by major amounts. But we saw before this last caution came out, he had opened up a 6/10 of a second lead on the second place car, which was Chad Cole. So that 13 definitely strung out here early as he takes lap 23.
And Jose Gonzalez, 26 car, looking for fourth position. He's now on the inside of the 58. He gets the spot. 58 car falling back now side by side with the 37 of Ben Burnett, and he's not done going backward. Seems like any car that gets stuck on the outside is a car going to the back. As now the 21 Matt Lacrosse looks underneath the 58 if he can get there.
And 58 tried to come down, not quite enough room, and now the 21 Matt Lacrosse is going to go by on the outside, and don't count out that 33 David Lanza. He is coming in his National Guard car. Now the 58 is going to drop down in front of him, get back in line, and you're right, there doesn't seem like there is much of a second groove when you get on that high side. You can get to the gas a little bit earlier, but you don't get the lane that you want necessarily, not the preferred lane, and you definitely drop having to check up off the turn. But now that 58, he is pulled back in line in 8th position right now.
It seems very, very difficult to pass as well. You see a lot of the guys going in low, letting it drift up in the middle of the corner and kind of push up the racetrack and then come back down off the corner, really diamonding the corner, I guess you could say, and that's really helping a lot of these cars turn. You see them going way up the track, especially with the 21 car, as he actually is running down currently the 37 of Ben Burnett.
In back right now in the 12th position, the number 27 car of Guy Snyder, the 4th. He has just been overtaken by the 20 of Mike Montesi. He's in a heated battle also with the 44 of Glenn Campbell. And the 27 caught the wall off turn 2 last time by, which allowed the 20 to make the pass. Doesn't look like he has too much damage. Now the 20 checks up, 27 gets a little bit of a run. So these two drivers are definitely battling for it now, as we have another car coming into the picture. Is the 30 of Nick Silver, who dives below the number 44 to gain that spot.
That was big move there by the 33 car, the 30 car, sorry there. Nick Silver getting around the 44 car, but really impressive move there as he now moves to set his sights on the 27 machine. As he gets big time sideways off of the corner, he's alright and still hanging in there. Looks like some of these cars could be really sideways off the corner, but almost looks like they're used to it.
And that's right, the 37, Ben Burnett in 5th position, got real loose there down the back straightaway. Now the 21, Matt Lacrosse, has caught up to him, and he's going to try to contend for that 5th position right now as they work their way down the front stretch. He's going to suck up to the bumper, and he's going to look to the inside, and turn number 1, slides up the track, almost gets into the 37. Now here come the 58 and the 33 into the picture down the back stretch.
I wouldn't count them out of the battle currently. Let's look at the 21 and 40 cars side by side for the 10th position. Looks like 21 overtakes the 40 car, or hangs in strong on the outside lane, and now sets his sights back on the 38 machine of Mark Bratcher, looking for room to the inside if he can get it. And that's if he doesn't get another car back to his inside. That would be the 40 car. As we have a big check up in front of him, that'd be the 58 car. Maybe in trouble here.
And yeah, the 21, Matt Lacrosse, he made an aggressive move into turn number 1, trying to overtake Justin Wilson for that 6th position, and he slid way up the racetrack, lost the grip, and that's why the 33 and the 38 got by him. He managed to hold off the 40 car, and now he just needs to focus on getting back up to the front as the 20 really dives it into the corner. 21 dives it into the corner there, 40 closes a little bit, but they're going to settle it out down the front stretch. We're going to take lap 32.
I think we're really seeing how hard it is to pass here, Evan, is these guys really have to follow in line and take advantage of mistakes as they pass the slow car on the inside. That is the 05 of Chris Cable. He had been held on pit road for a very long time, I do believe, to fix some damage on that 05 machine. Currently scored just about 7 laps down, so very slow on the apron here. Looks like toe could be knocked out on that car. At least the toe could be knocked out on that car, as he looks like he might be coming up pit road, or he's still hanging down on the bottom.
He may just be looking for a safe time to come up. And as you mentioned, it's very hard to pass here, and you're going to be making a lot of turns, and you're seeing it's really tough as now the caution flies again, so that's going to be our 3rd caution. But these cars get real loose on the exit of the corner. 160 laps, you're going to exit the turn 320 times, and you don't want to be brushing that wall, or you'll knock the toe out, as you mentioned.
And caution comes out for the 40 car, 10th position. That is Matt Hoffman, and he's going to fall back quite a few spots, but looks like it is lap 33. Maybe off of turn number 2. Yeah, off of turn number 2. I'm watching the 40 car comes up the racetrack, has to check up for the 21, gets loose and gets maybe a little bit of help from behind, but I think he had already lost it himself before that, and just keeps it down the bottom there after he's taking a hard hit to the wall, it looks like.
And definitely, it looks like he was trying to maybe take a look to the inside of that 21 car, and it just didn't happen, and when he came back sliding up the racetrack, the 20 again, right there in line, had nowhere to go, and drove into the 40, and the 40 went right into the inside wall, almost flipped over there. Good thing he didn't come back up into traffic, locked up the brakes, kept it on the bottom, and really avoided making this a very big incident, as with that inside wall being right there on the back straightaway, things can get plugged up really quickly.
When wrecks happen here, they generally happen big. I mean, there's usually quite a bit of an incident, so I think that was a unique thing that we only saw the 1 car really involved. As everybody comes down pit road, 13 car leading the way, got to be very careful not to speed 35 mile per hour pit road, as the 13 is now in his stall. Right side's going up on that machine, as well as the 8 just behind him. Right side's drop for the 13, definitely going to be a 4-tire stop here, and he should be away. He will maintain the lead behind him. The battle is for 2nd. Higman Jr. comes off 2nd, with Chad Cole coming off 3rd, Jose Gonzalez 4th, and Ben Burnett 5th. Now once again, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break, and again, we'll be back with your lineup.
you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
We're back live at Dover International Speedway as we get set once again, getting close to going back green flag racing. I do believe that was caution number 3 as the field works side by side. Current running order is the 13 car of Dwayne Vincent, the 14 car of John Hickman Jr., 8 car Chad Cole, 26 Jose Gonzalez, and then Ben Burnett. Justin Wilson, who was running in the top 5, the last restart has fallen back to the 6th position with Mark Bratcher currently 7th. David Lanza currently sitting in the 8th position with Matt Lacrosse 9th, and Mike Montesi currently sitting in the 10th position in his 20 machine. Now we're getting set for another little stretch here possibly as the caution has been delayed. It looks like, but we're getting set. Maybe we can see a longer green flag run, or you think we might just make it maybe 20 laps or so before we see another caution here? What's your call here?
Well, it's not necessarily a small racetrack. It's considered a short track, 1 mile long, and it gets very tight, especially when you're side by side. This track can get you when you're driving by yourself, and one of the interesting things would maybe even be getting by lap traffic. You can easily lose a lap if you're at the back of this big row of cars that we're sitting here as the leaders are going into turn number 1. Then you're at the back of the line, you're still getting off turn 4, so they can really get clogged up, and we have debris on the racetrack. So we will be trying to go green this time, but they're going to get that cleaned up and make the racing surface good to go.
That looks like accidental, but here we are. Lights are back out on the pace car. Looks like they quickly got it cleaned back up. We're getting set to go back green flag racing this time. It's going to be the pace car diving off. When we get off of turn number 4, currently working off of 2. That's going to be J.D. Webb going to pit road. Dwayne Vincent going to lead us to the green flag once again. Restarts, they've been very crucial. We got to watch the outside lane. For some reason they struggle. Maybe it's because they're afraid to spin the tires or something of the sort. We got to watch the outside lane. They seem to go backwards when it comes to restarts. 8 car now going to be back on the inside. He had fallen off of Dwayne Vincent just a little bit. John Hickman Jr. though, he was staying pretty much right there with him the last run. So here we are working through 3 and 4. Pace car is off and onto pit road just about now. And here's going to be Dwayne Vincent. It's up to him. Green flag flies as he has gotten to the throttle. We're away here, Evan.
And he's still got the jump, but he played that. We talked about that earlier. He didn't go quite as soon, so that prevents the 14 car of John Hickman Jr. of guessing when to go. And now the 8 of Chad Cole is going to work on the inside of the 14. They're going to be side by side, real close to the wall down the backstretch, and the 26 Jose Gonzalez is waiting right behind them.
Yeah, Gonzalez, not really going to give them a whole lot of bumper room here as the 8 car actually losing the position to the 14. He gives it back up on the inside. 14 hanging strong outside that 14 car. Very, very strong car, but now 7/10 behind race leader Dwayne Vincent compared to where he was not making up any time. Basically running even lap times to Dwayne Vincent last time. It could be a little hard for him to make up any time here.
And we have 1 car down up against the inside wall, the number 37 of Ben Burnett, who was running 6th on lap 40. He is currently now back down on pit road. He had an incident down the back straightaway. Things got kind of clogged up. That wasn't necessarily part of it. He just came off turn 2, caught the wall, tried to hang on to it, and pounded that inside wall, pancaked it, didn't spin it out, drove it through the grass, and now down pit road trying to get that car fixed.
That's unfortunate. Nick Silver having his black flags cleared by race officials. For that. How about David Lanza, currently sitting in 6th position? I think we've been talking about him. He needed a break. There was a few times where we talked about he needed a break. It could have been Thursday nights. Work here Mondays and Thursdays, but David Lanza really very solid. He's very fast week in and week out. Just sometimes is not able to have the luck he needs to hang in there. And get the top 10 finish or the top 5 finish. Currently running 6th in the 33 machine, so pretty solid run so far for David Lanza. And how about the 97 car having some kind of problems on the racetrack? Now look for the 97 car, who was currently scored in the 18th position. He is slow on the inside. Electrical problems is what it looks like. Big time electrical problems. And they're 2 and 3 wide behind him, so he's got to get up and out of the way. 67 coming back. He's 26 now. 29th scored across the line, and he's definitely having some big problems there.
And that's a hazard for the other cars. He's going to cut power randomly, and they don't know where he is, especially if they're trying to make the pass on him. They almost went 3 wide there. And just to mention, David Lanza, as you were talking about, is in his number 33. They have been slightly improving their car all night, and they are going to try to get in contention. His car was 18th in practice, qualified 15th, and he's running 6th, so small improvements are really helping out his race car, and he's hoping to keep moving forward as this race continues on.
Definitely going to hang in there, though. Electrical problems definitely something you don't want to deal with. Anytime I'm hearing somebody just about lost in, I'm thinking I heard the 28 car, as I'd like to go see. 28 car is Bobby Wetzel, and he's currently racing right in front of the 22 car for the 30th position.
He got real sideways off of turn number 2. Maybe he had to check up or something for the 71, as the 71 and 02 were side by side right in front of him. And he got real sideways on the backstretch, hung on to it, and almost came right up in front of that 22 car down the back straightaway. That could have been another incident. Now the 28 car has regained that spot. He's currently running back in 30th position.
Nathan Little has been black flagged. Sorry, I was looking into something. Nathan Little has been black flagged on the racetrack. 97 car for his electrical problems, and I've been trying to monitor them here. And 97 car looking like they're coming back down. Crew's saying that it's basically good to go. He has served the black flag, I do believe, and looks like he is solid here. So no problems now on the 97 machine.
And I do believe he will lose a lap. He was black flagged twice. Or he was black flagged, and then they cleared the black flags. But we are not sure what is the situation. They're obviously talking with race control, trying to figure out that situation. Is now the 04 car also into the wall off of turn number 4 as he worked down the front straightaway. Definitely a tough track to race at. As now we also see the 05 car sliding way up the track. So this track is definitely tricky for some drivers.
Yeah, 05 car really damaged. 37th position, I think we talked about him earlier, was 7 laps down, now currently 8. Had been held on pit road for quite a while. I don't think that car is still 100%. I think you can see that as he goes into a corner, just shoves way up the racetrack. And I mean, you can see the car kind of bobbles over. It's not wanting to go in one direction, it's wanting to go in just about 3, which is a handful for the driver, as right in front of him, the 97 gets really sideways up the corner, now shoves in too wide for the with the 04 position there. How about up front, John Hickman Jr.? He was 7/10 of a second back. He is currently 3, running down Dwayne Vincent. Chad Cole sitting in the 3rd position. He's now 5 back, and generally he's been one of the few that have been getting run away from by Dwayne Vincent. Vincent's actually been beating Cole and just about the rest of the field the last few runs. Not quite the same story here, as it looks like Hickman Jr. and Cole are actually kind of running it back down.
And Dwayne Vincent gets so close to that outside wall when he worked through turn number 4. He could barely fit a piece of paper through him. So he's definitely trying to get the maximum arc as he does again in turn 1. You don't want to hang up there too long, or that safer barrier will jump out and catch you. Another car that's moving forward somewhat is the number 29, Brennan Mercer, 19th position right now. He was black flagged, went a lap down earlier on in this race. He qualified 30-30, worked his way up, and then he was the cause of one of the initial cautions. Lost his lap. He has now gained that back, and he's up to 19th position. So that 29 car trying to work his way back to the field.
And we have a battle for 2nd position on the racetrack. 14 car up the racetrack quite a bit. 8 car goes to the inside, clears him. Now 26 to Jose Gonzalez, also looking for the position. It looks like Jose Gonzalez might actually get it. Now, if I remember correctly, we talked about Jose Gonzalez last Thursday night. He didn't really like this racetrack, and he's hanging in pretty solidly in the top 3 currently now.
And definitely sometimes the tracks that you don't like are some of them that you are the best at, and obviously maybe you don't race there a lot. And if you get a good setup going, you get a good run, it could become one of your favorite tracks if you end up getting into W. But definitely that 14, John Hickman Jr. lost 2 positions as he moved up, and the 8 got below him. And then when he checked up, the 26, Jose Gonzalez, just right there, came charging through. So that's going to be a change, and he's going to get dropped out of the top 3 right now.
Yeah, but that's not good for the 14 car. I'm kind of wondering if he just shot up the racetrack or what there, but he falls back, and he was one of the guys that was catching Dwayne Vincent. Now they are just about a second back. They had really closed the gap. I mean, they were 0.3 of a second behind him. Now 0.9, nearly a second, as Chad Cole makes up just about 200th that lap. But I mean, he was sideways out for the corner there, so maybe a bad lap for the 8 car.
And one car that is going backwards is right now in 6th position, the number 58, Justin Wilson. He was sitting in 5th. He's now in 6th. David Lanza, the number 33, managed to work his way by to become the last car in the top 5. And Matt Lacrosse in the 21 has been beaten on the doorstep of that 58 car. He had to check up last lap. He was on his bumper, lost a couple car lengths. He's now slowly working his way back up, so 58 definitely not having the speed that he currently wants to have. He's running about a tenth of a second slower than your leader right now.
You see the 21 car, he throws the car in there. I don't think he really cares. Maybe use a little less brake. I mean, you see the 58 car, he gets to the bottom, pretty much sticks there. 21 car using a whole lot more of the racetrack, and he's making up quite a bit more time doing so. 21 car very consistent with his line as well. 58 doing the same thing, but looks like 21 making the most out of it. 40 car slow on the inside. And looks like he's going down to pit road, so an incident after he was the last caution, I do believe, or one of the last few cautions. How about Chad Cole? Interesting back here. Started 6th last season, finished 15th in 2012 when they had this race last season.
And definitely currently running, he is 2nd position to Dwayne Vincent. He's about a second off. And right back here, that battle that we were just discussing for 6th position, Matt Lacrosse got real close to the 58. Almost to the bumper in turns 3 and 4. He's going to dive it into turn 1 again. And look at that. He can make that car stick. He's going to give the 58 a bump in the middle of the corner. He's definitely trying to get that spot.
And the longer these two go at it like they are, I think the 58 might be holding up to 21 just a little bit here, because the 20 car is creeping up into this picture just behind him, and he's in the 8th position. Very solid run for the 20 car. Mike Montesi, he seems to be running, consistently well the last few races, and I have a feeling he could be one of the guys that sneaks up on you in the points just a little bit after he started 18th in this race, and he's up to that 8th position, up 10 spots so far, and the race is far from over. Actually, just about 99 laps, going to be 98 when we cross the start-finish line to go here.
And that battle between the 58 and the 21 has definitely helped out that 20 car. The 20 car getting closer to that 21. Looks like the 58 may be holding up that 21 just a bit. You can see the 21 will drop a couple car lengths off, and he'll make it back up. And catching somebody is one thing, but making the pass is a whole different story. Now as Mike Montesi loses a little bit of speed, and the 21 is going to take another jab at that position.
How about just a few positions behind them, just around 13th position? We got a pretty good battle here, as I believe caution might be out on the racetrack.
It appears so. The drivers are slowing down their race cars. This will be the 4th caution so far of the night, and Douglas Wyatt, his number 12 car, currently being shown 32nd position, will be the recipient of the lucky dog on this caution.
And caution is for 97 car, 29th position, lap 63, in turns 1 and 2. He gets up into the 28, comes up the racetrack, and comes back down after locking up the brakes. As the leaders went by, actually one of them pulled down off of the, right down to the bottom of the track out the backstretch, and that's Jose Gonzalez. So 97 car going to be the cause of the caution. Rolls away, not much damage, not much of an incident there, just makes a little bit of contact with another car, ends up getting himself turned around there.
And he was slowly working his way back through the field, as he was the cause of a previous caution. And if he receives another EOL for that, not what he wants to see, as he was slowly chipping away. And with a long race, I mean, we are currently working lap 65 as now they come down pit road. It's a 160 lap race, so still a long way to go, as again, everyone's going to break it back down under caution, and we're looking for more yellow pit stops.
Here they come, lap 65. Vincent leading the way. Going to be Cole in 2nd as Doug Roth stays out. He leads the lap in his 43 machine.
And the 13, Dwayne Vincent, he's going to pull into his pit stall way down at the end of pit road looking for probably another 4-tire stop. That's what we've seen the last 2 times, as we've only had yellow flag pit stops so far. Dwayne Vincent's going to get 4 tires on it, fill it up with Sunoco fuel, and he's going to win the race off of pit road and hold on to first.
Vincent very solid in the pit box. His crew very fast all night long. He's been able to keep his position. Cole comes off second. It doesn't look like many spots being gained off pit road. Again, only a 35-mile-per-hour pit road speed limit. Gonzalez off third, with Hickman Jr. off fourth, and David Lance off fifth. It looks like Justin Wilson might have made up a spot or 2 on pit road, but will be caught speeding. Again, a 35-mile-per-hour pit road. It does not take a whole lot to end up speeding here, and I think that's what the 58 just noticed. But while we once again here pace at Dover International Speedway, go ahead and talk to you once again. How about the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable in the cockpit of the car. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, a high-quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it at BobEarlRacing.com. Order one today.
And we are still going to pace. It's still been all night long so far. The number 13, Dwayne Vincent, second in points, something we haven't said in a while here. He is doing exactly what he needs to do, leading the race. However, Chad Cole, who's currently beating him in the points by 1 point, is right behind him, and he's been there all race too. So pretty good points race battle at the same time going on right now at Dover.
Points battle extremely close. Again, only 1 point between the two, and I want to say that currently the way they run, Dwayne Vincent beating out Chad Cole. Even if Chad Cole beats Dwayne Vincent and Vincent finishes second, those two, I think it will be still a tie. It would be a points tie, as Vincent has led a lap, and it looks like he could go on to lead the most laps if he keeps going. Just about 14 laps more, maybe 15 or 16, being as Doug Roth stayed out there. But I mean, he has led a majority of the laps tonight, and it doesn't look like he's going to give up that anytime soon. But how about last time? Chad Cole, John Hickman Jr. actually leading Chad Cole, Jose Gonzalez. They ran down Vincent from 7/10 of a second back, brought it down to about 3, then they raced for position, fell back to about a second. And I don't know how much time they made up after that, but I don't know that it was a whole lot there.
And definitely Dwayne Vincent was pulling away with a pretty significant lead. He got to about a second, and not sure if he had a really bad lap, maybe got it loose and had slid it off a corner, but he did allow Chad Cole, Jose Gonzalez, John Hickman Jr. to gain about 0.7 seconds on him, and then once they got to 3/10 off, Dwayne pulled it back away just a little bit faster than everybody else. But remember, every time they're going to come down to pit road, they're going to be making slight adjustments to their car, trying to tune it right. So it'll be interesting to see how, again, the 8 of Chad Cole is going to hang on to this restart, as Dwayne Vincent has dominated those all night long.
And outside lane has just, generally struggled on a restart. The last time we saw the 14 hang on the outside, we know it can be done. Here we are, green flag's out, and Vincent is away. Cole is going to maintain second. He got a pretty good restart on the outside lane. Jose Gonzalez didn't quite get going as fast as he would have liked, but he maintains third with John Hickman Jr. all over his bumper. Looks like Hickman might have got to his bumper and then shot back a little bit as we now headed to turn number 3. Field pretty much sorts out in the top 5.
And definitely side-by-side back for about 6th position. The 20 of Mike Montesi goes around the 21 car of Matt Lacrosse. And right behind Matt Lacrosse, we have also the 38 of Mark Bradshaw, was taking a look to the inside. He has since dropped back 2 cars off of that, so a little bit of a battle there, shuffling things out, trying to get ordered out after we went green.
Looks like back here just around 6th position, Mike Montesi up about 2 spots from where he was running just a little earlier. He was racing right around Lacrosse, and I do want to say it was the 58 car. But 58 now in the rear of the field after speeding on pit road, and he's now in front of Lacrosse and setting his sights on the 33 car of David Lantis. So 20 car up to a from a pretty solid run to a stellar run, just about to crack the top 5 if he keeps going the way he is, as he is on the bumper of the 33, maybe looking to the inside. He is. He shoots down, thinks better of it, gonna wait just maybe a lap or 2 or so to make his move.
And another 2 cars that are moving up are the 24 and 4 of Stefan Marinak and CJ LeVere. Stefan Marinak currently sitting in 11th position. Started this race way back in 27th. He's gained so many positions. Also, CJ LeVere in number 4 started this race 23rd. He's also worked his way up to the end of the top 10. So those cars definitely slowly chipping away after a 4 starting position. Definitely not what they were looking for, and they're trying to chip their way into the top 10 and make something work in this race, trying to get points and maybe even contend for a lead if we get a couple more cautions and they continue to get gain positions.
CJ LeVere was 5th in overall practice times, so definitely has a fast car, and he's showing that as he's working through the field. Currently trying to close in on the 44 of Glenn Campbell for the 9th position. How about Chad Cole? 0.204 seconds behind Dwayne Vincent, maybe closing the gap just a little bit here up front as he's not really letting Vincent get away, as well as the 26 of Jose Gonzalez being on his bumper. He's not really letting anyone go in here. The 26 car, he's been kind of a contender the whole time. He's stayed right behind somebody, but he's never really leaving the lead pack or really Chad Cole's bumper most of the time.
And right now, 8th position, the number 20 car of Mike Montesi lost 2 or 3 positions on that last lap, as the 38 of Mark Bratcher and 21 of Matt Lacrosse got around him. And now the 44, Glenn Campbell, right on his bumper, is going to take a peek to the inside as we work down the front straightaway with that big run. And here also comes at number 4 that we just mentioned. CJ LeVere is going to dive in there. The 44 is going to clear the 20. So is the 4. 20 really pushes up, and now the 24 also of Stefan Marinak looking to gain another position, but that 20 car definitely dropping quick.
I'll tell you what, I just had this pointed out to me. How about we look at the 82 machine currently running at 21st position? How about NASCAB Taxico? That's interesting. A nice looking car there, I guess. Looks like a taxi car, huh?
Yeah, definitely. That'd be an interesting ride to take if you're not one of these drivers hanging on with those G-forces, and he's going to try to give his customers the best trip that they can. He's currently sitting 22nd, looking to improve that as we work our way through the race.
Coming up to 17th position, 29 car, Brendan Mercer recovering after making heavy or significant contact with the 10 car. John Abbott sent the 10 car spinning, and that was Brendan Mercer, who is recovered, somewhat up to 17th position and hanging in strong as he follows in pursuit of the 88 car of Adam Roberts.
Yeah, that 29 car has been battling all night. He's worked his way up and then he's dropped back, and he's done that twice now. He still has some pretty significant front-end damage cosmetically on that race car. Doesn't look like anything is wrong internally as he is slowly gaining on the car in front of him, which is the 88 of Adam Roberts. He ran a tenth quicker than him this previous lap, looking to move his way back up. But that 29 car, definitely a fighter tonight.
Yeah, hanging in strong. As you watch the 29 car work laps, going to go through the field once again. Looks like Mike Montesi, something's happened to the 20 car. He's fallen from 6th to just about 14th now. He's in the 14th position, just now behind the 36 of Rich Jet. So something has happened to the 20 car in the last few laps, I would say.
And his car's pushing way up out of the groove that you see, the darker color on the track here, and almost gets into the wall there. That 20 car, not sure if it's a toe issue. Doesn't look like he has any damage, but it's pushing up. Maybe when you get messed up here in these long races, you want to get into a rhythm, and if you have one bobble, it's going to take you a couple laps to settle down and get back in that rhythm. So he's going to try to slowly work his way back up. He's not losing too much ground on the 36, but that 81 Stephen Almindo, also very fast, is going to try to capitalize as well.
Halfway complete, as we now have 79 laps left in the race. I would say just a few more laps, and Dwayne Vincent will have clinched most laps led here as he leads Chad Cole by 2/10 of a second. Actually, 235 thousandths of a second, if you want to be very, can't think of the word, huh? As now the 20 car, Mike Montesi, going to lose another position as the 81 car of Stephen Almenda goes by for the 14th position. So that moves Montesi back to 15th. So still trouble in paradise here for the 20 car.
Yeah, definitely, and dropping out of the top 10 to where he is, and it's no longer early on the race. We just passed the halfway point. You don't want to keep losing positions. And now the 88 of Adam Roberts, who Brendan Mercer was trying to make a look a pass on. The 20 car again pushes way up the racetrack. There goes the 88, and now the 29 being accompanied by the 45 Cale Dresbeck, and the 02 Ronnie Potts. All those cars working together may get to this 20 car as well. That 20 car really pushing up the track, and we've seen how difficult it is to hang on to a position when you're put on the high side. That 20 car definitely needs to get back into a rhythm. He is dropping quickly, and it's starting to, the laps are starting to tick away, so that's definitely not what you want to see.
You got to think his car's got to be broken. You see it fit all kinds of sideways off of the corner there. I have a feeling that the 20 car in trouble here. As here comes 29 for 16th position. That's Brent Mercer. He goes from 17th to 16th. And here comes the 45 of Cale Dresbeck. And Dresbeck scored 18th. He's going to be looking for that 17th position from the 20 car. Mike Montesino.
Yeah, there goes the number 45 Cale Dresbeck battling for 17th position on inside on that 20. Here comes the 02 Ronnie Potts flying up on the outside. He just passed the 31 of Sean Casto down the back straightaway. Now he's going to pull down the line. 20 car way up the track is going to hold up the 58 of Justin Wilson. 20 is going to lose a handful of more position, and now the 58 loose is going to go down. He's going to pull back up. So the 20 car still dropping, not what he wants to see, is now the 58 and company of the number 15 of Steve Goschuk are going to try to make that move. But that 20 car is definitely dropping, and something must be heard on that race car.
Yeah, you've got to wonder, 20 car, I mean, just, yeah, I've got to say, if you go from 6th to out to your 20th position, even if it is your car number, I have a feeling Mike Montesi, he's in trouble. He's seeing way up the racetrack, damage definitely on that machine, somewhere maybe internally or something. I don't know if something's wrong there. I would say, how about back up front? Dwayne Vincent is pulled up. He was just, he had a 2/10 of a second lead. Just laps to go, now up to a 4/10 of a second lead. Jose Gonzalez back to 7/10 back, nearly 8. John Hickman Jr. second behind. David Lanza second and a half, with Matt LaCroix sitting 6th. He's 2.8 seconds behind. Mark Bradshaw currently sitting 7th. He is, I do believe, just about 3.7 seconds behind, with C.J. LeVert, Glenn Campbell, and Nick Silva rounding out the top 10.
And Dwayne Vincent went 3 wide with 2 lap cars there on the front straightaway to put them a lap down. That was the 12 of Douglas Wyatt and the 71, I do believe, of Keith Brooks Jr. 71 way off speed on the high side, just letting the lead lap cars go, so he does not interfere. He is the second car now, a lap down, as Dwayne Vincent lost 0.3 of a second there. That previous lap to Chad Cole, maybe it was getting around the lap traffic, and this is where it'll become interesting as we're starting to work a pretty long green flag run. If you have any sort of issues with a lap car, you have to check up. They don't go where you think they're going to go, and Chad Cole not dropping off just nearly a half a second behind Dwayne, that can really cost you a position.
It can, and that's something you don't want to see. You really gotta hold your ground here. Yeah, we saw last Thursday night. I think we're talking about a leader. I want to say it was Stefan Marinak. I'm not quite sure on that, but I want to say it was Stefan Marinak who was, running through a bunch of lap cars there. He was, charging 3 wide, 2 wide. If there was room, he was taking it. If there wasn't room, he was making it. And I was just trying to make up positions. That's what you've got to do, especially if you're in a half points. You can't sit there and waste your time behind other cars. Sometimes you can't play it safe, but you got to go and just hope they give you room, as we now work lap 93 of 160.
And way back in 34th position, the 71 Keith Brooks Jr., who was battling the 12 of Douglas Wyatt to be the first car lap down, has come down pit road for a green flag pit stop. Said he wore out his tires, stayed in for a little bit of damage repair, and he is currently going back out on the racetrack. Very slow it looks. Remember, you mentioned only 35 miles an hour, and these drivers are not accustomed to that. If you're sitting there at the end of pit road and you're going to be battling somebody off trying to gain a position, you might forget that and speed up to 45 as we'd seen, and you'll black flag yourself. So definitely tricky as 71 is going to slowly make his way back onto the racetrack.
And when you talk about pit stops, green flag pit stops, we see what you got to watch out for is people trying to get down onto pit road. That's probably one of the trickiest things. It's probably one of the trickiest racetracks we do it. As you see the 71 coming back down underneath the apron, looking like he's going to pit once again, I think, here. Maybe it was caught speeding, black flagged or something. Last stop, he comes back down, once again, 34 or 32 miles an hour, and 35. Yeah, he now comes to a stop in his stall, maybe a black flag. What you got to be really careful is if you pit off a turn number 4, or in the middle of straight and 4, if nobody's coming behind you, you got to be really careful. It's really hard to get down onto the track, and if you go from where you're running on the banking down onto that apron. You can lightly end up just spinning the tires or spinning the car around, which is something you don't want to see. So you might see even guys enter in turns number 3. And it's really tricky to get slowed down. Really got to keep your eye on pit road entry here. I think it's going to be where a race could be won or lost here, especially up front for the lead.
And speaking of the lead, not sure if that 13 car is necessarily going away or is very inconsistent, but he has lost that half a second gap on Chad Cole. Chad Cole running about 0.5 of a second faster than Dwayne that last lap. He's actually brought that distance up to 0.28 seconds last time by. This time by the scoring is going to update it back to 0.30. So Dwayne Vincent definitely has a fast race car, but he's not running consistent laps. He'll pull away and then he'll drop back as he's getting ready to put the 69 car lap down. That's Joseph Hayes.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are extremely consistent. They're running really solid lap times as they are 1.5 seconds behind third place car John Hickman Jr. It's the fact that they're going back and forth. I think they're watching each other. You might see Chad Cole, he drives up really quick a few laps, and Dwayne Vincent might be looking at his meter, messing up a few laps. But as soon as they both hit their marks, or if one of them's hitting their marks, the other one isn't, Chad Cole now falls back to 0.4 of a second behind race leader Dwayne Vincent as Vincent tries to work through traffic. And traffic could also be playing into this, as you see one of them could be working traffic a little bit faster than the other, as it looks like Vincent pulls just a little bit more time on Chad Cole.
And the 05 of Chris Cable, currently 36th position, his number 5 is 10 laps down. He just came down pit road and it looked like he may have sped. He pulled down to the apron as he worked off of turn number 3, so he had lots of time, but 35 miles an hour is such a difference from the 160 that you're going to be running down that backstretch. It's going to be very difficult to get on pit road as green flag pit stops are starting to come into full swing.
Yeah, 59 laps remaining. It's about that time. We have less than 60 to go. I would say now is the time to do it.
And definitely Dwayne Vincent now 0.3 seconds over Chad Cole. They have made their way around lap traffic, and that's one of the last things that you want to see is lap traffic ending up interfering with the battle. And most of these guys are just going to go to the high side, let them by, as you see right there, and let these guys race it out, as we still have a long way to go, but definitely laps ticking down. And Chad Cole has seen Dwayne Vincent right there this whole race, and he has to not get over his head and get too anxious and dive it way in there one lap trying to make up too much room. He just wants to stay consistent, slowly chip away at that lead, and wants to be there in about 55 laps when we're about to take the checkered flag.
But when Cole hits his marks, he really runs down Vincent, but when he misses big time, and Vincent seems to hit his marks big time there. As the two though going back and forth, they're not really getting separated from each other. Less than half a second between the two, as I've been watching here for more green flag stops. How about Jose Gonzalez is falling back from 3rd all the way back to the 5th position, so maybe trouble in paradise for the 26th car as he's lost 2 spots here in just this last run. John Hickman Jr. up in 3rd. How about David Lanza in 4th as caution flies? 71 car around. I do believe that is Keith Brooks Jr. And I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but looking at lap 98, that's what I've got on the last lap he scored. Yep, lap 98, working the backstretch off of turn number 2. He gets a lot of sideways, comes down, gets the inside wall, and puts the car on his roof and collects another car there.
Definitely a huge lick by that 71 car. Goes down and pounds that inside wall, does a barrel roll right into the way of the number 67 of Brian Harvey. Gets airborne, does some more flips, bounces, parks it up at the top of the racetrack, and they have brought that car behind the wall right now. Window net is down, driver is okay, and that's really going to mess with what we were about to see, which was about to be green flag pit stops, which would have been very interesting, and some people that have pitted may have lost a lap there, as now we're going to come down under caution. This may be the last chance for someone to make a big swing and try to gain a lot of positions.
I would say so, as we watch the leaders come down, as well as the 05 Chris Cable, who is multiple laps down.
Bobby Wetzel in the 28 is going to be the lucky dog this lap, so he is going to get back onto the lead lap. Good for his number 82 machine, which will put him in about 29th position.
leaders are almost down to their stalls. Vincent now comes to a stop in his stall with Chad Cole just behind him. Right side's going up on both machines as they do it at about the same exact time. Cruz definitely getting to work. Right side's down on the 8 machine just a little faster. 05 Chris Cable in and out in a hurry there as it looks like left side's up. Cole is going to be the faster stop, but will he beat out Vincent? I don't think so. Looks like Vincent wins the battle off of pit road, and now it's up to whether Cole sped or not.
And definitely he went for it, and you saw his left side came down before that of Vincent's. Nearly milliseconds before that, he went flying out, and it looked like he was going to gain the positions, but it's very easy to get up to 35 miles an hour with this horsepower that these cars have. Dwayne got up there right at that white line, and Chad Cole, I don't know if it was 45 he might have got up, but he had to stop for that slow pit road speed.
Well, it looks like Cole's all right, but while we now pace once again, lap 107 and 160, we're going to go ahead and step away, take another quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more racing action from the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Barbaro Racing at Dover International Raceway.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And we're once again back live at Dover International Raceway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. We're back racing. Green flag has just been thrown once again, and we're looking up front. The battle for the lead, not really a battle for the lead, it's the battle for second. And John Higman Jr. has won that battle as he is now around the 8 of Chad Cole.
And that's the second time we've seen that, but the 14 gets a big wiggle, and we have a quick caution for the 7 car of J. Randall Watkins. A huge incident. He was running in 21st position, and he was coming down the back straightaway. The 65 car lost a bunch of speed right in front of him, and he got ran over by 2 other race cars, the 20 and the 28, and that stacked them all up. And there's what you mentioned, when normally there's a wreck, it's a big one. Well, that was one of them.
Yeah, it looks like the 65 got to the outside wall, slowed down just a little bit. 7 car, nowhere to go, gets to the back of him and gets plowed from behind. Big wreck on the racetrack, and that puts us back on the caution lap 110 of 160. Just about 50 laps remaining here.
And that 7 car, pretty torn up. He's driving essentially at a 45-degree angle, trying to get it into his pit stall. That car may be done for the night. Pretty major damage. and that's a tough break. You get so late into these races, merely 50 laps to go out of 160 laps. You fight hard, and then one bobble can ruin your night, and that's unfortunate for that 7 team.
Well, this has changed things, has it not, Evan? We now have John Hickman Jr., who just took over second place. He'll be now on the outside lane. Chad Cole going to be scored in third, so he'll be on the inside. How about David Lanza up to fourth? Jose Gonzalez currently sitting back in that fifth position. CJ LeVere sixth. Matt Lacrosse seventh with Glenn Campbell eighth. Bart Bratcher ninth. And Guy Snyder sitting 10th. Guy Snyder has also moved up a few positions from when I was watching him a little earlier. He's up to that 10th position currently as I do believe we might have a special guest up at the broadcast booth currently.
A special guest. Yeah, it's a long, it took me about a half an hour to climb them stairs, as old as I am here. Just recently celebrated a birthday, but I tell you what, had to come up the stairs here and make it official. Evan Pasoko, welcome to the booth, my friend. Evan joined us here just a few months ago. Of course, he did his apprenticeship down on Pit Road, like many others, but I'll tell you what, this young man has attended and graduated the Dakota Ehrman School of Broadcasting. I'll tell you what, this kid does such a fantastic job. It was a natural to put him up here in the booth. So, Evan Pasoko, welcome, my friend. The ink isn't even dry on the contract yet. You are now officially a broadcaster here at ETV Live, and you'll be here on Monday nights, bud.
Well, I'm just trying my best, and still pretty new to the iRacing, and when I got iRacing, first thing I wanted to do is say, I've seen all this sim broadcasting, and I talked to Dakota, and I'm like, this seems like it would be fun. I do it with my friends, on Xbox. We're just joking around, and never thought that I'd be able to get an opportunity like this, but it's fun to get to do it Monday nights. I'm here Friday, Sunday, on Pit Road whenever I can, so it's fun to hang out with you guys.
I'll tell you what, John Westling, our producer downstairs, pushing the buttons on the camera tonight. Of course, we call him Magic Fingers back at the office. He and I have talked before, and, it didn't take us long to figure out that this young man has some unbelievable talent. So, again, congratulations. Welcome to the booth up here, Evan. Dakota, take good care of this young man, and I'll catch you boys a little bit later on.
I will do, JD, and thanks for stopping by. Happy late birthday to you, my friend.
You bet. Thanks, bud.
I was still unaware I had a school named after me. But anyway, back to Dover International Speedway. It's Vincent leading under caution once again. Lap 113 of 160. Less than 50 laps to go here, Evan. And this is going to be make it or break it time here. I think Dwayne Vincent, the only time he can really be beat is going to be these restarts. I think if he slips on one of the restarts, he could have a problem. He'll have a lot of company, but other than that, it seems like once he gets out there, you can't get any closer than 0.2 of a second. Then he drives away, they close back up, he drives back away, they close back up.
And definitely, and if I was the 14 of John Hickman Jr., or the 8 of Chad Cole, I wouldn't want to be counting on that, but that seems like that's going to be a key point, and Dwayne Vincent has been so good on these restarts. He's stayed dedicated to that bottom line, and the last 2 restarts, actually, third position has made it past the second place car on that high side. So it'll also be interesting to see the battle between the 14 and the 8 to see how fast they single file out and then try to get back to that 13 of Vincent.
This is definitely going to be interesting either way, though, as we work now in the backstretch. Double file, 13, 14, 8, and 33. How about the 33 up to the top 5? Teammate 2, Chad Cole. David Lanza, very, very strong run going his way so far with less than 50 to go. Pace car gets set to dive off, and he's just about to be gone, I do believe. There he goes. Pace car is off to Wade Vincent. Is now away. Green flag flies at Dover International Speedway. The battle is on for second position. Cole gets a pretty good restart. 14 spins the tires maybe just a little bit as soon as he gets on the front straightaway off of turn number 4. 8 car prevails on the inside lane, and 14 lets him go, jumps back in line. 8 car now sets his sights on the 13 of Dwayne Vincent.
And definitely, again, the third place car is going to get the advantage there. Second place, it's so hard to tell. You mentioned you're going to be higher up on the banking. You might spin the tires, and you can't look forward and see the car like Chad Cole could. You have to look to your left. You got to look forward to you, otherwise you'll hit the wall when you're exiting that corner. Dwayne Vincent just so good on those starts. And another car that's really had a great night. CJ LeVere is up to 5th after starting way back in 23rd, but we have another caution.
yeah, 02 there. I think I was I might cut out there, but the 02 car, lap 115 off of turn number 4, comes down, gets the inside wall hard, keeps it down on the inside. Looks like he's able to keep it down, but might have collected a car or two there.
Yeah, definitely got real loose on that bottom groove. Was bouncing off the inside wall for quite a while, then slid up, and he got split by the 05 and 20 as he went up. Then he got into the outside wall, came down in front of the track, didn't hit anybody else. So great wreck avoidance by a lot of these drivers, and good job by the 02 keeping it locked up and on the wall as much as possible so that the other cars were not involved. But this is going to put us back on caution again, and this time it's going to be the 8 of Chad Cole now, switching with John Heyman Jr. So Chad Cole's going to be on the high side next to Dwayne Vincent, and John Heyman Jr. down. He's going to be starting third in his number 14 machine.
And it's like, as soon as they go back green, it switches. I mean, things keep getting changed. Now it's going to be Cole on the outside lane, and Hickman back on the inside. And the outside lane just struggles so much. You see Cole fakes it, Hickman fakes it, Lanza fakes it. Mainly everybody's staying out here, looks like, as 88 really close to coming down. 27 car going to come down. He was running in the top 10. He's now back to 18th, so something must have happened to that 27 car. Maybe could have been a good caution for him, as now he comes down to the attention of his crew, possibly.
And definitely, we talked about him earlier in the race, the number 33, David Lanza, having a good night. He's been hanging out around 6th position all night. He has now worked his way up to 4th place, and as I was mentioning right as the caution came out, that 4 CJ LeVere, he was 5th fastest in practice, did not qualify to go to a backup car. He started this race back in 23rd position in his number 4 car. He has worked that car up to 5th position, so haven't really been keeping track of his lap times, but he's definitely had as a fast car if he's been able to work his way up into the top 5. It's such a tricky track when it comes to passing.
That it is, as Guy Snyder came down pit road, serviced his car, back on the racetrack, 18th position. Lanza going to be leading the field here, and or not Lanza, I don't know, I'm talking about Vincent, but you've just been talking about Lanza really in the top 5 currently. I think you were just talking about LeVere. I'm out of it, but LeVere, yeah, back up in the top 5, and been top 5 in practice. Lanza as well, I wanted to talk about. He's 4th currently on the racetrack, and he was very, very fast. All throughout the night, it seems like, but qualified kind of poorly. I do want to say about 15th. He was running 18th in practice. Car seems to have come to life though, as he's up to that 4th position.
Yes, definitely. I touched on this earlier. He was 18th in practice, qualified 15th, and he's been slowly working on that race car every time they come down. And him, as long as the other leaders, they haven't had to have a green flag pit stop. We saw a pretty long green flag run, and right as people were starting to enter pit road, we saw a caution, so everybody came down, put 4 tires on it, and that's the safest way to make adjustments to your car. So definitely the 33 is on a tear right now, looking to gain more positions, and cautions appear to be breeding cautions now, as we're in a little bit of a span of real short green flag runs and then a quick caution. So nothing's guaranteed. I mean, all you can have is number 13, Dwayne Vincent, get loose off the corner, end his night. And this track's very loose, and if you get side by side, these cars, it's very hard to control them, so it'll be interesting to see, but nothing is decided yet, as there is just about 40 laps to go in this 160 lap race.
Yeah, 40 laps to go when we take the green flag, and that'll be this time by as the field doubles up. It'll be Vincent, Cole, Hickman Jr., and Lanza, the top 4 of the front 2 rows, with LeVere and Gonzalez making up the next row number 3. Really quick, going to talk about Inside Sim Racing, sponsoring the Thursday Night Real Sim Racing Series. The Inside Sim Racing, your first and best choice for all news and reviews in online motorsports. Join Derek Hanchey and John Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation auto racing games for PCs and the Xbox crowd, from steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. The yellow pages of online auto racing. Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them at isrtv.com. As we now work into turn number 3, going to be Vincent and Cole leading the field again here. It's going to be interesting. Going to watch the outside lane to see if they go, whether they struggle. Lanza has been pretty much consistent, staying in the top 5, but now he's going to be on the outside. This could cost him. Here we go. Pace car is off, and Vincent is away. Green flag flies, and it looks like outside lane does not go. Inside does. At least the 14 does, as they're going to be side by side for the 2nd position.
And they really got stuffed up to the 33, David Lanza, with a big wiggle into turn number 1. Now the 4, CJ LeVere, looking to make that pass. He's going to clear him off of turn number 2, and here goes the 8 of Chad Cole battling right back on that 14 of John Hageman Jr. For a second, 14 way up the hill. Now the 8 goes by him. The 4 is looking to go by as well. And don't count that 33 out as the 14 almost tried to get in behind the 4. He's going to maintain that position. CJ Olvera losing a little bit of speed down the front stretch, but they are still side by side.
44 car, I think we're on the caution once again. 44 car, who was just 6th position, who was just behind David Lance, I was noticing. Teammate to the 33. He goes for a ride, and it's not a good ride. As he got some help. Looks like lap 122, position number 6, turns 1 and 2. He gets help from the 26. 26 car just got right into the back of him, put him around, and 44 car going to end up. He keeps it going, but you know, a lot of damage. It looks like.
And one car that might hurt even more is the car that initiated the contact, so to speak, which is the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez. 44 checked up in turn 1, gave him a bump. 26 tried to go high to avoid it, and the 14 pushed up a little bit, and that ended up sending him around. The 26, I do believe, also spun around from that, and he has been up front all night. He managed to save his car. If he is charged with being the cause of the caution, he will receive an EOL penalty, and he is going to lose a lap, which is something definitely that you don't want to see very late in this race, as we're going to see who's going to take pit road. Dwayne Vincent's going to jump down.
Yeah, Vincent not going to pit though. He's going to stay out. I don't think most of these guys can't pit. They're afraid to go to the back, and it looks like most of them do though. I'll say 21 car stays out, and that's Matt Lacrosse. He goes from 6th up to 2nd, but now here comes Cole and most of the other guys. And there is no pit. There is no commitment cone here. There's a box on the pit road. I don't think there's much of a rule with that. I know you have to at least, I believe, hit the box, but it's hard to miss that box and still make it on the pit road. I do believe, as Cole has the right sides up on that machine. They're down. Left side's going to go up. Going to be a 4-tire stop for that 18, and he gets beat out by about 3 cars there.
And definitely, you don't need a lot of fuel with these guys. Just filled them up. 2 tires, 4 tires, lots of different changes. And that now is going to bring that 21 Matt Lacrosse, who's been hanging out around the top 10 all night, into 2nd position. And the fighter of the night, the number 29 Brennan Mercer, who just a handful of laps ago was in 20th position, he's going to stay out a couple of times, and he is now finding himself in the top 3. Right behind him, also Stefan Marinac, who had a rough qualifying position of 27th, is now right back up there, and Guy Snyder, the 4th. We haven't heard much of him yet all night. He started 14th. He is now up in the top 5 as well.
The Guy Snyder, solid run, definitely staying out, helped him. Had been kind of moving up and down throughout the field, had pitted, I believe the last caution or a caution or 2 ago. Snyder had been having a lot of bad luck, and I think at Charlotte is where it was last week. He stayed out, hoping to have some good luck. I think it came, it was a top 5 finish, I know. It was top 3 actually, because we got to talk to him at the end of the race. Solid run for him, and that's what he's looking for, is just to get the momentum going in his favor. He said he's had a fast car week in and week out. He's just not been able to put the races together. Now he's back up in the top 5 once again. After Charlotte, he's probably looking for another top 3.
And definitely, and they have just confirmed now the EOL penalty is being given to Jose Gonzalez. He was up front all night. He is now going to lose, or drop to the end of the longest line, not lose a lap, but he will be charged with the cause of that caution. And Chad Cole did lose a handful of positions on that pit stop. He was 2nd. He was the first car to lead him down pit road, and he is currently being scored 10th position.
And that's definitely not the amount of positions you want to lose now. He's got to go back up quite a bit to make up the some of the positions. He's got to be careful not to be caught up in an incident. You got to remember, he only has 1 point between him and Dwayne Vincent. He could easily lose that points lead, and it's looking like it's going to be, as Vincent has the most laps locked up. He's also led a lap, as to where Cole has neither of those. Just bonus points wise, it's going to depend on how well he finishes currently, as to how many points he makes up throughout the race.
And definitely that 13, Dwayne Vincent, been out front all night, and he hasn't really made any mistakes. He's been running fairly consistently, led the majority of the laps. He has a lap led, and if he can continue to race as he has been so far, he may be able to take home the checkered flag here and get a maximum points day, which is definitely how you want to rebound after a very poor points race last week at Charlotte.
And he is doing just that, but here we are. Now in the backstretch left, 126 of 160. Double file getting set for the green flag. Pacer is going to pull off this time, and we got to see, will we get a quick caution once again, or will we go green a few laps, 20 laps, or will we go green the rest of the way? It's definitely going to be interesting. We'll find out here as we work through 3 and 4. Pace car driver, that's the honorary pace car driver, J.D. Webb, going to pull in this time, and Vincent going to lead us.
And that pace car is going to make that sharp left-hand turn down to pit road. Right now, 29 is going to get up to 13, is going to wait a little longer than usual, and there goes Dwayne Vincent, blowing away the rest of the field. He waited a little bit longer. He's mixing things up, and now we're 3 wide behind him. 27 is going to check out of that, thinking better of that. Now the 24, 29 side by side for second position. Here comes Brennan Mercer on the inside, almost gets up into the 24. Now the 24 with the advantage. Now the 27 is going to dive it down 3 wide into turn number 3. 24 is going to clear the 29 and the 15 way out of the group.
And Cole, he's shoving his car into this. He just went around the 29 car. He came through a lot of cars to make up a lot of positions. He goes from 10th to 5th in just about a lap or 2 there. 8 car up quite a few spots. Snyder holding on strong to the 4th position. Meanwhile, up front, Vincent has gapped Matt Lacrosse by 0.289 seconds. The rest of the field, 1.2 seconds and more behind, as it looks like Snyder pulls up to the bumper of Marinac for the 3rd position here.
In the 30 car, Nick Silver may have caught the wall there off turn number 4 as he took lap 129. He's going to now get passed by the 4 of CJ LeVere. The 58, Justin Wilson, looking to the inside. 30 gets real close to the wall again. We heard over the radio maybe a big checkup. Started with that 30 on the restart, held a bunch of cars up. That 30 trapped on the high side right now. Not going to be able to drop in front of the 14. Not sure. 14 is going to back off a little bit. 30 is going to pull in line, but there goes the 14, diving it now into turn number 1 to gain that position. This is all a battle for 10th place.
So you got to see I think you saw the aggression you've got to use to get back up to the field. 14 car being maybe a little easy here. As 33, caution is out for the 33 car. A lot of damage on that machine. Had a solid top 5 run going earlier. After that pit stop, put him in the back of the field. We look at lap 130 off of turn number 2. He just about gets to the back of the 30 car. He just nailed the wall and ends up spinning the car around, collecting a lot of cars, and we have a big incident on the racetrack with just about 30 laps remaining.
And that's right, we were just following that 30 car, Nick Silver, and his car was dropping back quick, and he pounded that inside wall, and the 33, I'm not sure, I don't think he made contact. He just swerved trying to avoid it, bounced off the wall a couple times, spun right in front of the field, collecting the 20 car. 69 drove into the 20, and we had another car go shooting way up into the racetrack into the wall, and that was near the front of the field, so a lot of drivers had to maneuver their way through that incident, and very unfortunate incident. That seems the way it's going to be going. These caution flags continue to breed caution flags, and instead of staying at the back being safe, it seems like the only safe place on the racetrack right now is first place, and Dwayne Vincent is doing a good job of that, as he is currently in first place. The number 21 Matt Lacrosse sitting second, and Stefan Marinac in his number 24 car is sitting third.
While we pace once again, Evan, why don't we go ahead and step away, take another break here, and we'll come back with more action here. I have a feeling it's going to be action-packed the final 30 laps, so I can't wait to get it underway. Once again, we'll be right back. Again, we're ETV Live, powered by the ETV Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Hello, and we're back at Dover International Speedway, whatever you want to call it here. So we're through 3 and 4. Pace car getting set to dive. Dwayne Vincent going to take us to the green flag, and I do believe there goes the pace car. It's now on Vincent. Vincent going to hit the throttle. He's away. Green flag flies. 24 gets a pretty good restart. He's going to beat the 21. It looks like to the start-finish line, so inside lane rolls. Outside lane, however, does not. Chad Cole definitely did not roll on the inside, as he's now falling back in line behind the 27. His teammate of Guy Snyder, he has the 38, and Mark Bratcher to his outside.
And that top side is just not getting the resource now as the 21, Matt Lacrosse, dives way down to the apron, down low on the number 24 of Stefan Marinac. This is going to bring the number 27, Guy Snyder, the 4th, into the picture. He's going to back off. Now Chad Cole's coming into the picture in the back of the field, but it's going to be Matt Lacrosse hanging on the 2nd place for now. Now Guy Snyder and his number 27 machine trying to work his way around Stefan Marinac, and the 24 gets real loose off of turn 2.
You got to remember, A-car on much fresher tires than most of these guys up here. As you see, he now works underneath the 24, clears him on one corner. 4-car trying to follow 4 might be on also some fresher tires, I do believe, as well, at least 2. As looks like Cole now sets his sights on the 27 car for the 3rd position.
But while this has all been happening, we're watching Guy Snyder in the 27. He's already 1.3 seconds off of Dwayne Vincent now as the 8 goes blowing by him. But Dwayne Vincent has opened up a lead, and it is late in the race. And as those guys were battling, Dwayne Vincent just ran his line, and he has opened up a 666 thousandth of a second lead on Matt Lacrosse. Now Chad Cole in the 3rd position is 1 minute and 3/10 of a second back of 1st position. So Dwayne Vincent definitely opening up the gap that he needs. It's up to Matt Lacrosse to see if he can do anything with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a second, not a minute there.
Yeah, a minute would probably be a lap or 2. Yep, that's a second and 3/10 off correction. Yeah, there you go.
We'll be maybe a few laps there. I'm thinking about maybe around 4, I would say. As we have a battle for just about 12th position, I do want to say, how about Stephen Lamindo on the inside of the 88 of Adam Roberts? He's looking for the 11th position. 81 car moving pretty good, but as they have a checkup, 31 car gets to the back of the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. Gonzalez involved in the caution, just laps to go. 81 car shoves way up the racetrack. He gets the wall, and a little bit more than that as they go through wide. The 30 car in the 43 get through, as those were the cars on the inside. They were Silver and Roth there.
And Stephen Almendo still dropping. He has just been overtaken by the number 15 of Steve Gottschalk, and now the 67 was taking a peek at the position. He's not going to do anything with it. And that 81 has dropped all the way back, all the way now to 18th position in his 81 machine. Not the run that he wants, and now they put the number 7 car another lap down. That's Jay Randall Watkins, who's currently being shown 22 laps down in about 33rd position.
7 car is dangerous. He is hurt. I mean, you can see that car is destroyed. He's having trouble hanging on to it sometimes. 7 car definitely not where he wants to be currently as he goes around the car on the apron there. battle for second on the racetrack. 21 car off the racetrack, 8 car underneath. Chad Cole up to second, just around a second maybe, or close to a second behind Dwayne Vincent.
And don't count that 8 car out. Yeah, if we do see a caution, you mentioned Chad Cole, he let us down about 2 cautions ago. He was the first car to bring us down pit road to get tires. Dwayne Vincent stayed out. He figured he had nothing wrong with his race car. It's been fast all night, and he stayed out on the racetrack. He's currently in the lead over Chad Cole by about 9/10 of a second, but Chad Cole slowly chipping away at that lead. He doesn't want to battle with this 21 too long, and a caution may very well help that 8 car. He's a little bit faster, but it's going to be tough to make up about a second on Dwayne Vincent with about 15 laps to go.
I wouldn't say it's not doable, though. 8 car very fast. I think we had to keep our eye on the 8. I see it made up just a little bit last time, a very small amount, and he makes up a little bit more this time, just about half a tenth maybe, which was enough that he'll now be closer to 9/10 of a second rather than a second. So Cole making up some time. There might be enough laps left where he might be able to do it. Going to be very, very close, though, as he has just about maybe 15 to go here at the start-finish line.
And currently running in 10th position, the 24 of Stefan Marinak, who was hanging out near the rear of the field all day. We saw him pop up into the top 5 not too long ago. His car has since dropped back to the 10th position. He was overtaken by the 36 of Rich Jet for that position not too long ago. So the 24 dropping a significant amount, and the 26 Jose Gonzalez is now back up to 12th position. He was also up front all race long. He got into the rear of a car bringing out a caution. He had to go to the end of the longest line, and he's worked his way up quite a number of cars, about 10 positions, but he is currently sitting 12th, trying to work his way around the 88 of Adam Roberts.
We got to remember 24 car stayed out last few cautions, and that's how he's able to get up into the top 5. I would say 24 car maybe on the older tires falling back here, and that would be why. Older tires are killing him, and got to be really careful on old tires. I think that's what he's doing, just kind of riding around, looking for a top 10 finish and a solid point stay here.
And definitely, and Chad Cole was very slowly chipping away at the lead of Dwayne Vincent, about a tenth of a second, or 100th of a second maybe even, per lap. And that lead right now is at 0.84 seconds right now on Dwayne Vincent. The scoring is going to update, and it's back to 9/10. So Chad Cole made a little bit of a run. You have to think maybe he used up his equipment, because he jumped up from 10th position where he restarted from. He jumped up to 5th pretty quickly, drove pretty aggressive through those cars, but is now slowly dropping back to the 13 of Dwayne Vincent. He's currently 2nd position.
Either way, I don't know. There might not be enough time left for him, as he has just a little over 10 laps to go. He falls back just a little bit more time to Dwayne Vincent. 26 car trying to make up for the lost time, lost positions. He's up to 11th position. That's Jose Gonzalez. Pretty solid run after making contact, being involved in one of the incidents earlier on. I do believe with the 44 Clinton Campbell. Jose Gonzalez making up time and up to the 11th position, looking to get around the 36 for 10th.
He is on a little bit fresher tires than these cars back there, and he has been a front runner all night, so his car may be a little bit faster than them. He's currently working on the 36 of Rich Jet right now. That's for a top 10 finish. 36 gets way loose. It's a big wiggle off turn number 2. Managed to hold on to the car. 26 checked up for him. And in turn number 3, that 26 still looking as they put that 7 car another lap down. That 7 car is very slow. Could be a hazard on the racetrack, just trying to log laps.
Cole now 7.5, just about tenths behind the race leader. He's closing. Oh, 36 in the outside wall hard. He saves it, but I mean, he hit the wall hard, lost a lot of time. He gives up the position to Jose Gonzalez and maybe a few other cars. That puts Gonzalez back into the top 10. Rich Jet falls out.
And he's going to smack the wall again, twice here on the front straightaway, beating that right side of that race car. Now the 29 Brendan Mercer's going to look to try to get around him. And he may have just been feeling the pressure of Jose Gonzalez riding his bumper for a couple of laps, knowing that he's a little bit quicker. And Jose may have forced a mistake, as Jose Gonzalez now is up into the top 10 after dropping back to below 20th position just a handful of laps ago. So good run by that 26 car to salvage as many points as possible as we are approaching 6 laps to go.
And Cole now 0.6 of a second back. He's made up just a little bit more time, and he's all over the place. He is sideways. He's really driving this car, hanging on to it. I mean, he's really, really trying to close. He's run out of time. He's got just a little over 5 to go. 6 to go, and he lost a lot of time that lap, 0.3 of a second that lap, as he was all over the place sideways and had to go to the outside to pass the lap car.
And that may have been in the knife in the coffin. Chad Cole really trying to get something out of his race car, trying to really throw it in there and hoping it sticks, trying to make any sort of last-ditched effort to catch that 13 now, as about if a caution were to come out anytime soon, it may end the race, and it probably will if we get one more lap. So Chad Cole trying to make a last swing at it, trying to go for it, but he did lose 0.3 of a second in one lap after slowly chipping away at that lead for the last 10 or so, and that's pretty much going to do it unless we have a big bobble for the 13, as Chad Cole's about a second off now.
Yeah, with less than 5 to go, going to be forward to start finish line. Cole is now too far back. I don't know that it's possible unless Vincent's caught up in an incident. I mean, Vincent just went around a lap car and didn't even lose by 0.02 of a second. Vincent back on pace, it looks like. Meanwhile, Guy Snyder up to third. How about that? He stayed out and looking for another top 3 here. Hickman Jr. sitting in 4th. LeVere 5th. Lacrosse 6th. Mark Bratcher sitting 7th. Justin Wilson 8th. He's back up to 8th. And how about Stefan Marinak in 9th and Jose Gonzalez in 10th?
And definitely that 4 CJ LeVere was trying to catch that 14 John Hickman Jr. for that 4th position. Got a little bit loose. He's going to gain a little bit of time here, so he may be trying to get that as the laps are winding down. But so far it's been all Dwayne Vincent all race long. He's had a fast race car. He's had a fast line. And he's going to come by to take the 2 laps to go.
And again, this is the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. This is round 13 of the 36 in this series. And again, I believe it's 10 races are the chase. And so points will be reset, but currently points leader is, coming into this race was Chad Cole, and he had a 1-point lead over Dwayne Vincent, who is now the race leader, has led nearly every lap of the race, and is currently on his last lap as he works through the back straightaway. Cole is now 0.6 of a second back, but not enough time to make anything up, as Vincent just has to come off this corner all right. Looks like Vincent will come off of turn number 4, and he will win at Dover International Speedway, round 13 of 36 with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series.
And Chad Cole was really chipping away at that 0.45 seconds off, but Dwayne Vincent just not quite enough time. And then Guy Snyder will take home 3rd position, followed by John Hickman Jr. in 4th. CJ LeVere will get 5th place.
And now we try to get Vincent on the radio. We got him. I do believe Dwayne Vincent, Dakota Irma up at the broadcast booth with Evan Pasoko. You did it. You won the race. You stayed out all of those cautions, and it paid off. You won by nearly half a second on Chad Cole. What a race! And how did you hang on those whole tires?
Man, I don't have a clue, but I'd say about another 3 or 4 laps, Cole would have had me, man. That was nerve-wracking.
And you nearly led every lap of the race here tonight. I mean, it was a very long night for your 13 team. I'm sure you were fast on pit road every time you came down. Everything just seemed to go your way, though. I mean, talk about your night here.
Yeah, we practiced a lot this week, man. After the last 2 weeks, we needed a good run. And just tried to go out and do what we needed to do, man. Chad Cole's such a good competitor. And just did what we had to do, and thank God it worked out.
And you should walk away with the point lead, I do believe, not by much, but you do walk away with the point lead. Does that help you with your confidence heading back into another week of racing here next week?
Oh, yeah, no doubt, but 3 or 4 points, whatever it'll be, it won't be much, but we'll take whatever we can get, man.
All right, well, Dwayne, any shout-outs you'd like to throw out there?
Yeah, I want to thank all my teammates at Red Ass, Chassis Works, Raceskins.com for doing all our paint jobs. Who else? Let's see, Bob Earl for sponsoring this stuff. Everybody at RSR for everything they do, and all you guys at ETV, we appreciate it, man.
All right, well, thank you, Dwayne. Good win, and what a race for you. Can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
And it was Dwayne Vincent, your race winner here at Dover International Speedway. Now we go down to the man who he couldn't catch him. He got really close, 0.4 of a second behind, nearly a half a second. That was Chad Cole, and he's standing by with Evan Soko.
And that's right, we're down here now on pit road with the number 8 of Chad Cole. And Chad, you had a fast car. You led the leaderboard in practice, couldn't quite get the pole. You got 2nd place. in qualifying and you finished second. Do you think you could have got Dwayne Vincent if you had a couple more laps? Because on those fresh tires, you were definitely making up ground.
It's just so hard to tell with these runs we got. You know, I was really hoping to go green the whole way because I think I was saving a little bit, but Dover is a place you got to save. So who knows what anyone really had there. We went green there for about, I don't know, must have been 60 or so laps. I was hoping to go the distance there, but it didn't happen. A little bit different pit strategy there. Kind of surprised I was able to get back up to second. The bottom line really stalled out in one restart, and I think it went from 10th to 5th in a lap there. But and just short once again. Just that's all right though. Dwayne's a good dude. Don't mind running second to him.
And definitely, you took the points lead by 1 point. You're probably going to lose that by not by much. Dwayne Vincent led the most laps, so he's going to get a couple bonus points. But sitting right there now, most likely in second place. And you mentioned you wanted to have green the whole way, and we saw a couple cautions early on. And then we had that long green flag stretch, as you mentioned, and then a lot more cautions. Do you think that your car would have done better if you just ran green the whole way? Do you think your car was more set up for the long run?
Yeah, I was starting to reel Dwayne in just a little bit there until that caution came out that spurred the real cluster at the end there. So I don't know, you know, it's just so hard to say here. Dover, you just got to save, and you don't know what everyone has until the end there.
And definitely you mentioned it's Dover, it's the Monster Mile, and you seem to tame the track pretty good. You got second place. What is running this track like, especially with a high number of cars in the field? Is it nerve-wracking?
It's not real nerve-wracking, but it's just pretty tough. This car is very difficult to drive. It's got a lot of horsepower, and it wants to break loose on exit all the time. And it's just a real beast.
And definitely a real beast it is, but you managed to get second place, and obviously nobody can get to this point without any help. What shout-outs do you want to throw out?
Yeah, I gotta thank the guys at Team Manchild Racing. I neglected to thank them last week. Guy Snyder, Dave Lanza, and Glenn Campbell. They're my boys. They keep me in check throughout the race. Keep me calm when I'm a little bit worried. And ETV, of course, you guys do a fantastic job with the broadcasts. Bob Earl Racing Seats as well. And hippiespaintshop.com.
And definitely, well, the number 8 of Chad Cole is going to put his Ford Fusion in second place tonight at Dover. Dakota?
How about the guy that came home in the 3rd position here tonight? Eventful night for him. Generally, I think it was last week we got to talk to him, and he was the same way. He played out with some strategy, and it really paid off. Guy Snyder, driver of the number 27 machine for Team Manchild Motorsports Incorporated. Guy, what a race for you! Finished 3rd. I think he was kind of just snuck into the top 10. Was running around, between 10th and 12th, maybe up to 9th. And you stayed out on that, when most of the leaders came down, you ended up going past a few cars and were able to stay up solidly in the 3rd position. Talk about your night and talk about the call to stay out there.
Just same thing as last week. This was was actually better this week. I didn't really get myself in any trouble, but just stuck around 10th, 12th where I qualified. Real tough to pass, and the difficulty level here, the competition is just so tough. So if you can just get ahead of a couple guys there, at the end of the race, then it's all bets are off, and everybody kind of, goes for running consistent, run in a line, try to run as fast as you can to, there's a car in front of me, we got to pass him, and everybody starts getting a little more wild, so you can kind of get away with that. I set it up, though. I went and I pitted the caution right before that last one, and I went back to 25th, and I just sat there. And we had a short little run, and I just didn't burn my tires off, and I figured other people would pit this time, and it played off perfect for me.
That it did. That was really smart thinking. What was the idea behind that call? And who helped you plan that? Was that all you behind the wheel?
Yeah, I told my teammates that I think this is going to work out, and they kind of laughed at me because I gave up. I think I dropped a few spots from 10th. I think I was back to 14th at that point, and I dropped to 25th or so, and they laughed at me. They're like, "Yeah, you don't, that's never going to work out." And it was a roll of the dice, but like I said, you have to try to outsmart people because out driving all these guys out here is nearly impossible. Dwayne he makes it look so easy, and Chad, they're up front all the time. But pretty much from there on back, it's a dogfight every week. You know, everybody's pretty much the same speed. So.
And Guy, I know when we talked last week in post-race interviews, you said you just had to get the momentum going in your favor there. You did it at Charlotte. You came back in with a third-place finish here at Dover. Is the momentum in your favor now?
I sure hope so. I mean, it's another little bit of luck. I hope I'm not cashing out too early in the season, but I don't know. It just seems like when you do well one week, it leads over. You know, you're not thinking about last week. You're not angry about what happened last week, and you know, you just have more confidence and you just drive a little bit better because you're not as tense.
All right. Well, any shots you want to throw out there here, Guy?
Yeah, I gotta thank you guys, of course. ETV putting on a great show. Love to watch it the next day. Gotta thank Team Manchild Racing for sure. Chad Cole. I was actually the 4th fastest TMCR driver tonight. Glenn Campbell was fast, and so was Dave Lanza. And those guys give a lot of input. We are always trading notes and things, and those guys are invaluable. So I hope they start getting the finishes together because they had me beat hands down tonight. I got to thank Bob Earl Racing Chassis for sure. That's what we're all gunning for. Gives us a reason to come out here and race, and RSR for putting up with us drivers.
All right. Well, thank you, Guy, and congrats on your third place finish here tonight.
Thank you.
And it was your third place finisher, and Evan, those were our top 3 finishers actually here, and this was round 13 of 36. It's in the books. Dwayne Vincent wins the race, takes the points lead back over. Another solid finish for Guy Snyder, and Cole, finishes in the top 3 again. Can't wait to head into next week, which I do believe will be Michigan.
And that's definitely going to be a fast racetrack. And we saw some classic Dover racing tonight. We saw some drivers. Lady Luck was not quite on their side. They got eaten up by the track, got caught up in a few incidents, and they had a bad night. But your 2 points leaders up in first and second, Chad Cole, Dwayne Vincent, had a good night. We had some long green flag runs. We had some quick shootouts, and it was definitely an all-around good race.
And I lied. It might actually be Pocono. I was just informed, I think. But either way, we'll catch you at the track next week. No matter where we're at, we'll be live. I can promise you that. So just tune in next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on etv-eplay.net for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. Until then, we'll see you.